We got a male leopard in front of us. We found one. We've got a leopard hunting something. Well done, Mr. Senzo. That was luck, eh? Senzo's going, leopard, leopard. I'm thinking he's talking about what color underwear he's got on. Meanwhile, he's, he's shouting out about leopard. That was a good find. Wow. Well done. He definitely was hunting something. I wonder if something didn't come down to drink. I didn't see anything when we drove in here. Now, I'm not very good at identifying these cats, so if any of you knows what leopard this is, please feel free to tell me. Give me a couple of minutes and I'm sure I'll fathom it out. But if any of you are quick on the trigger, you're welcome to let me know. Why are you being so skittish? Boy, what's the story with you? Let's see who this is. Senzo says he thinks it's Hosana. It is a Hosana. Why are you being so skittish, boy? What's the story? Oh, he is getting big, hey? Hello there, my boy. So, thank you very much for helping us confirm what leopard this is. This is Hosana, and he is a leopard cub, well, sub-adult leopard cub, so to say. A beautiful shot of him drinking there, slaking his thirst. Good afternoon, my man. There we go. Now, leopard will, they don't need to drink, but they will drink when they can. And he feels a bit, I think he feels a bit intimidated drinking here. I think they are in an exposed place, and you might find that he's having a bit of a wrestle with another leopard, potentially Tamba, maybe another male leopard in this area. Potentially there's some lions in this area. It's quite difficult to say what was making him so timid. Of course, these young leopard do, from time to time, do get a little bit timid. This is one of their things. Now, Francis, you say this seems like it's his favorite spot, as we see him at Twin Dams quite often. Francis, yeah, I have to agree with you there. He does seem to like this spot. Leopard are, if nothing else, creatures of habit, and him being a cub at this point will hang around here for a couple of months while he explores. This is where his mom brought him when he was very young. I don't know if you remember when they were just born. His mom used to hide him in a road culvert close to here. So this would be the core of her territory, a place where he is intimately familiar with. He knows where the big trees are, he knows where to get water, he knows where the impala are. And until he's comfortable and confident, he's not going to easily move out of this area. That's beautiful. And so we will, for the next couple of months, probably find him. He'll be in and around this area. This area you can move through pretty quickly, and so he'll be in and around here. He looks like he's got a fairly full tummy as well. H. Macy, you just made a comment that I think everybody will agree with. You saying our little prince is growing up to be such a big boy. And I think everyone will agree with you on that one. He is turning into a beautiful leopard, isn't he? Now, it's interesting with him in that his fathers well, his father is a dominant male in this area that's probably within the next 2 years or so will reach the end of his reign here. And he doesn't stand the chance of being killed. He just stands a chance of being ousted by another young male. And I wonder if he's going to kick Hosana out of this territory before he realizes he's losing his grip on it. You can hear the Egyptian geese warning everything that is here, and they're swimming now towards him. He'll catch and kill them if he can. He won't risk it now, but he will if he can. Yo, he's having a long drink, eh? Very thirsty. Been a hot day. It didn't look like he had eaten anything big last night. His belly wasn't full. The other day when we shared it with him, he was hunting a lot. Francis in Israel, you just wanted to know, why do large wild cats like this not have slitted pupils like a house cat would? It's a good question. I don't actually know the answer to that question, to be honest. I mean, I can try and reason it out. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be right or not, but no, I don't actually know. I mean, it's got to do with the amount of light that goes into their eye, but of course, they can limit that with a very small pupil. And a slitted eye opening up wide is the same as a round eye opening up wide. So today's a question. Today's a day where I'm asking you all more questions than what you're asking me. And see if there's any literature out there in the broader world on why large cats have round pupils and not slitted pupils, or if nothing else, what is the advantage of a slitted pupil over a round pupil? Let's see what everyone says. He's got his mother's face, that's for sure. Now, I am just going to, if you'd excuse me for a couple of seconds, I'm just going to call in Andrew. He's looking for leopard this afternoon, and I did say that I'd help. We were just lucky enough to find, and I don't want to disappoint him. So excuse me while I'm on the Game Drive radio. Andrew, come in for Steph. The sun's now coming out on him. He's looking beautiful, isn't he? Andrew, Steph. No answer just yet, so we'll give him a few minutes. He's probably talking to his guests. What are you going to do now, boy? Going to go back to hiding somewhere? See, he's again just sneaking up. I wonder if he's not worried about these geese giving his position away. Typically leopard using the lowest point possible to access. There he goes and sneaks again. No, there he is a bit more confident. I'm going to change position. You've helped us with the answer to the question about the slitted pupil. Thank you. You say that a slitted pupil helps with vertical focus, which is specifically good when hunting for birds up in the sky, and also for prey that's much smaller than them. That's very interesting. So thank you very much for that, Kao. That's nice of you to do that. So, wow, that is interesting. And of course, because leopard hunt fairly large prey on the ground mostly, they don't need it, as do lion. Let's see if we can get you a nice shot of him with the sun on the side of his face for you. And you can keep this one for the record books. Andrew, Steph. Andrew, please make your way to Twin Dams. I have a young male leopard on the dam wall. stations, 2 vehicles in this position, myself and Andrew. And Andrew, when you get here, if you wouldn't mind taking over. You're welcome, Orbs. You'll be the 3rd station in this particular position. This animal slowly may be making his way just off the side of the dam wall. Sorry, everybody. I just needed to do a bit of admin. And it's necessary, Archer. You know, everybody helps everybody here. And today we were lucky enough to find him. And basically, they'll help us again when they need to. You're welcome to. If you wouldn't mind just with your name, excuse me, it's been a long time since I've been on the radio. Copy that. You're welcome to, Shoal. Thank you very much. So, on a day like today where you have relatively few animals moving around, a leopard would draw a lot of attention from everybody around here. And there is no doubt that he is going to draw some attention from our colleagues here today. Chatla, you wanted to know what color the leopard's eyes are. They're like a greeny color, a greeny blue color. He's sitting close enough now that we can see. Oh, come on, look at us. There you go. That is beautiful. And you'll see they're like a greeny, yellowy, topazy color. They're the most beautiful colors, I must be honest with you. Oh, that's lovely, hey? Look at that. Lovely. Screenshot, everybody. The whiskers. Oh, that is lovely. All those ears giving away his mood. And he puts his ears back, puts his ears forward. Long tail stretched out behind him, just sitting on his bum. Now, Richard, you'd like to know how fast he can run. At short bursts, he can do up to 80 kilometers per hour. And just a little bit faster than that, even up to 88 kilometers an hour. What that is in miles per hour, I'm not too sure, but he can absolutely sprint at that speed for very fast or very short spaces of time. Gee whiz. Hold on, guys, I just need to sort out this radio. It's going crazy in my ear. Excuse me, everybody. I'm so out of practice with these radios that when somebody's speaking in my ear while I'm trying to make and finish a sentence, I feel like my sentences goes into awry. So excuse me if my words are coming out all garbled. It's been a never-ending stream of chatter on the radio. Aubrey, Steph, if you wouldn't mind taking over this particular position, please. You have Andrew on approach and Shoal on standby. There we go. I've handed over the responsibility of talking to to Aubrey, and that means that I can carry on my conversation with you without worry of my brain being hijacked by radio communications. Look at his tail, the tip of his tail. Now, that white that you see there, that's what a cub would see. And following mom and using small little movements like that, he will be communicated to by his mom. It's called a following mechanism. Most animals have it. And he would have had his mother signaling to him from a young age, just like that, in his face. And they're very sensitive to mood changes. The tip of his tail is very sensitive to mood changes. Just look at that fantastic coat color that he has from the back. Along the spine and across the hip region has to be one of my favorite areas. Laurie, you'd like to know if a leopard's tail is longer than his body. That's actually a good question, Laurie. So give me 1 second. I'm going to tell you the exact answer to that. I almost think it is, but there's a ratio of how much longer it is. So I'm going to just go through my book here, but it definitely 282. Let me just see if I can answer you that question for you. It doesn't say. I feel like I've read it somewhere before, to be honest with you. Tail 60 to 110 centimeters. Oh no, that's tall. Okay, so it's not in my one book that I have. I almost feel that it is longer than him. So let's just say that it is for now, until I can go through my books here and find out where I've had that reference to exactly how much longer it is. What are you doing, boy? He's now walking through the sticks. It's almost like he wants to stay hidden. Melissa's asked the question of questions. Are leopards more comfortable on the ground or up in trees? That is a question, Melissa, that I've tried to answer for years myself. I don't actually know. They walk around a lot, and I think they walk around because they have to. They've got to get from one place to another. They've got to hunt. They've got to mark their territory. I wonder what he's trying to hunt there. Look, his ears are flat. Oh, he's going to go and lie down. Good for you. At least he's not walking across a boundary. But given the chance, leopard will climb trees, and when they're younger, which is where I think you can find out what gives a leopard joy or not. In other words, does he like it or doesn't he? When they're young, leopard will bound from tree to tree and spend a lot of time in trees themselves. And it's there that I wonder that these cats don't have a joy for it. It's difficult to say, actually, because, who knows? But I'm just going to go forward a little bit more. I don't want to no, that's a ton. I don't want to get too close, basically, on a skinny damn wall is what I'm trying to say. The English escapes me. Oh, he's a good looking boy. So Jamie is busy looking for cats rather than having found some at this point. Why don't you go over to her quickly for an update? I didn't mean to insult Jamie there at all, actually. She's a much, much better cat finder than I am and enjoys them a lot more than I do as well. While I enjoy watching leopard and obviously lion, and we spend lots of time with them, my interest lies with the smaller things in this bush. So now I hear that there's a bit of wind that you can hear, and it's because I just need to turn my body position away from the wind. That should be a little bit better for you, and it's because the wind is busy picking up now where we are and puffing out of the south, blowing these clouds away, it looks like, not getting any thicker, which is unfortunate because I thought that they were going to bring some rain, which they might still do, but for now it looks like we're going to have a lovely full moon rising over a blustery, windy, dry October bushveld. He's just lying surveying his domain. Melissa, you want to know if we often hear leopards roaring in the wild? Yes, Melissa, actually we do. It's quite a common thing to hear leopards roaring. I mean, by common, I mean maybe once or twice a night. If you're really listening, you'll hear a leopard roaring. And then when a leopard's close by, a particular dominant male or female in any particular area, and they're close by, you'll hear them roaring. Sometimes when a leopard's on patrol, they'll roar every 5 to 10 minutes or so, and you'll hear them patrolling through an area, sawing up and down. And then every time I've slept on the banks of a river in Africa, I've always heard a leopard roar. You know, in a wilderness area, of course, not everywhere, but sleeping on the banks of a river in Africa in a wilderness area is almost certain to allow you to listen to a leopard roar. It's a very distinctive noise. It's akin to sawing wood, is what it's likened to. Lots of recordings of leopard roaring on the internet. Go and hear one and see what you think. I think if you use a bit of imagination, it definitely does sound like someone sawing a rough plank of wood. You have just asked the question, at what point do male leopards start mating? They'll be sexually mature at about 2.5 years old, but they'll only really be able to vie for territory and therefore prove their virility and dominance and strength to a female, which makes them attractive to her from about 5 to 7 years old. So although at 2.5 years old he'll be sexually mature, he will only really be able to mate from about, or in an area where there's a lot of leopard, he'll only really be able to mate from about 5 or 7. In an area like the Sabi Sands here, which is a very high population of leopard, he'll probably be closer to 5, maybe 7, I'm going to say, before he fathers his first litter. Unless, of course, something untoward happens and he's able to take over an empty territory with a female around. You can see those ears working overtime. The reason for that is because of this wind. Now, if you look just behind his right ear, you'll see there's a white tip to it. That is very similar to the white point to the end of the tail, which is used to accentuate movement of that particular appendage and therefore help in aid in communication to especially cubs at the back of them. So we haven't yet deciphered out the language of leopard, but it is known, and you can see it, that they use very subtle changes in their body language, specifically their ears and their tail, and combinations of that to communicate with their cubs and each other, actually. Your skin is in good condition, eh? A good looking cat, this. Excuse me, sniffing like that. If he wants to lie down, it looks like, hey? You can see that muscle in his forearm. Now that it's not close to his body, you can see how much muscle mass is actually there. Now, Sam, you want to know if a leopard's father could kill his own son if they meet? Oh, there we go. He's going to lie down. If the leopard's father will kill his own son if they meet around a kill, I suppose, or in the dark. No, I don't think so. Leopard approach each other very cautiously, and because they're so vigilant, it's actually quite difficult to sneak up on a leopard. They do it from time to time. It's not uncommon for leopard to be not cannibalized, but killed by other leopard. And but I don't think a father and a son, it would make no sense. So they do take their time to greet one another. And when they meet each other in the dark, I think they take their time to make sure that they're not going to do that. A male leopard will kill cubs. Tingana is well known for killing cubs, especially of other leopard. And I think they do it to force females into estrus again. And therefore sire as many of their own cubs as they possibly can. He's having some fun, this leopard, just relaxing on the dam. James, you say, let's hope Tingana, talking about leopards and dads and fathers, and let's hope that Tingana does arrive. Tingana, for those of you who don't know, is this young leopard who's called Hosana's dad. And he is one of the dominant males in this area. He shares the territory with a leopard called Mvula. And when he comes around camp, he roars his lungs out. So if he's around, we definitely will know about it. His ears just listening to it. Ah, awesome. I'm told that Brent has some bat-eared foxes, which you just have to go and have a look at. Brent is not, we're not going to show you the bat-eared foxes just yet. Excuse us, Brent's signal is so choppy where he is that as soon as we wanted to go to him, he decided that his camera wouldn't work. So Brent's just going to get himself into a better position, and let's hope that he can find some signal around those bat-eared foxes for you. For now, you with me, and we are looking at Hosana, this young male leopard, who is just new into adulthood, well, sub-adulthood. He's not quite 2.5 years old yet, so sub-adulthood, and enjoying this late afternoon sun and wind that is coming in. Crab Cat Mama, you've just asked what is the life expectancy of a leopard in the wild? It is probably between 12 and 16 years, with leopard in captivity in zoos and safari parks and that it being slightly more than that. But between 12 and 16 years old is normally the lifespan of a cat. With them being sexually mature 2.5 years, sexually active from about 5 to about 7 years, and dominant in a territory right up until they are 14 or 15 years old. And so fathering and bearing litters of leopards for a long time of their life. And they'll have anywhere from about 2 to 6 cubs. They'll successfully normally only rear 1 or 2. It's rare to see more than that. One leopard female can't provide enough food usually, and anything more than 2 cubs don't survive for very long. It is known. I've seen once a leopard with three youngsters. Most leopard I've ever seen together has been 5, with a mom and her 3 babies and a male in the same tree at the same time feeding on an impala. There's a Sabi here in the Sabi Sands, property just to the south of us here, and will happen at other places in the Sabi Sands as well. The mortality rate of leopard here is high, but it's not as high as it is outside the game reserve. Leopard and lion do quite well in these protected areas, whereas cheetah and leopard do well outside the protected areas. Leopard generally do well everywhere, I think. They found almost they're found from Cape Town all the way north, through Africa, throughout Africa, east to west, and then all the way into India, all the way across the Asian continent to the Amur leopard, right down on the eastern side of China. What he's thinking. Jamie's luck has finally paid out, and she's got something cool to show you. Alright, and Hosana's gotten moving. It looks like he has decided that it's cool enough for him to move off and go and look for something. An interesting character, this, you know. He's developing a proper attitude. Character, and it's nice to see, you know, young leopard to have a look at these, to have a look at the way that they develop it's very interesting. And experiences definitely shape the way that they experience things. I wonder where he's going to go now. Is he just up there, Senzo? Yeah. Very cautious. Excuse me for 1 second. Sally for Steph, you're welcome to make your way in. I'll stand by on the dam wall, and there's Tax and Mike in the lock. As expected, this sighting has generated such a lot of interest. So, for now, what we're going to do, what we'll do is keep tabs on what this leopard is doing, and basically if he sticks around and doesn't cross over the boundary, then we'll come back. For now he is heading straight south, and that's going to make a few people that have been wanting to see him a little bit upset, but you know, some you win, some you lose, and I think we had the lion's share of fantastic sighting there for sure.